Do the Badgers reclaim dominance in the Big Ten Western Division in 2019? Next on Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. All right, we're talking up Bucky Badger here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. And before we get down to business, of course, we encourage you to do your Amazon shopping by using the link in the description section below. That helps us build the channel and keeps the content coming your way, which is the best in college football discussion, debate, and analysis. All right, Wisconsin has the 34th most difficult schedule in college football, is ranked by me 70 all the way up to number 1. We're ranking all the schedules in college football, and that's what we do each and every off season. We are also adding, as a bonus recommended and suggested by you, as our record projection as well this spring. Not my final prediction, but the projection right now for each team in the Power 5. All right, Wisconsin's out-of-conference schedule is quite embarrassing. South Florida on the road is a fairly difficult contest in the group of 5. If Wisconsin had a difficult Power 5 game like they have in recent years against the likes of LSU and Alabama. Also, BYU, of course, went to Wisconsin this past season and upset the Badgers, a highly regarded team at the time in the top 10 in the country. So Wisconsin goes to USF, which I applaud them going on the road against a group of 5 team and going to Florida on August 31st, the first Saturday of the season, if they also had a difficult Power 5 game, which should be scheduled. If you want to check out my schedule fix, please search for it in the search bar. Otherwise, I will have to restate it here at some point because I have fixed college football scheduling. It should not be left in the hands of the particular schools because they have their own agendas that make no sense. All right, the other 2 non-conference games for the Badgers: Central Michigan, September 7th, later in the season against Kent State on October 5th. All right, after the first 2 games of the season should be 2 wins for the Badgers, although the USF game versus Charlie Strong and company will be maybe closer than expected. Bye week on September 14th. And then a very difficult stretch of 2 games back-to-back that are key, especially the second game, in reclaiming the Western Division of the Big Ten. September 21st, Michigan at home at Camp Randall, and then Northwestern comes to town as well, September 28th. Of course, the Badgers lost to the Wildcats as Northwestern marched away with the Big Ten championship in the Western Division, I should say, at 8-1 last year. Key stretch for the Badgers, Michigan, Northwestern, back-to-back at home. The aforementioned Kent State game precedes Michigan State at Illinois, at Ohio State. Big game. Buckeyes, Badgers at the Shoe, as Wisconsin has not played Ohio State since, let's see, when was that? They played the Big Ten Championship in 2014. They played in the Big Ten Championship, of course, in 2017. They did not play last season. Bye week before the stretch run in November. This is a tricky, difficult stretch of key Big Ten Western Division games. Not elite teams, but everybody's good. Everybody's decent. Everybody could win these particular games. These are toss-up games to a certain extent. Iowa at Nebraska, Purdue at Minnesota. You talk about the Big Ten Western Division most likely being on the line the last 4 weeks of the season. I don't see any of these teams, unlike Northwestern last year that went 8-1 and was not decidedly the best team in the division, but they won close games to their credit against their main competitors. Look at the schedule. Look at the games Northwestern won. Very close games against the likes of Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, etc., and they won those games close and finished 8-1 in the conference. I don't see that happening this year. The conference, the division winner, will probably be 6-3 out of the Big Ten Western Division, because of games like this just being repeated over and over and over. Illinois is the only doormat in the division. Again, in November, Wisconsin has Iowa at home. They barely beat the Hawkeyes on the road last year. They go to Nebraska. Wisconsin has owned the Huskers in recent years, ever since Nebraska joined the Big Ten, and of course highlighted by that Big Ten smashing in the second Big Ten championship game, 70-31. Brett Bielema's last game at Wisconsin. Purdue at home. Then they've got to travel to Minnesota and try to reclaim Paul Bunyan's axe that they lost by 22 points at home for the first time in 15 years against P.J. Fleck and company. This is the 8th most difficult schedule in the Big Ten. It's number 34 in the country. So it's lowered by the awful non-conference slate of South Florida, Central Michigan, and Kent State, but it's bolstered by an extremely difficult Big Ten Eastern Division run. No Maryland, no Rutgers, no Indiana. It's Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State on the road for Wisconsin. Difficult Big Ten slate for the Badgers as they go 9-3, 6-3 in the Big Ten. They sweep out of conference at 9-3 overall. That's our projection right now. Need to hear from you. Leave your Wisconsin prediction down in the comment section below. Join us here for schedule number 33. Next on Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.